President Trump should appoint a new justice has been a hot question since RBG's passing. To talk about it some more, we have our first guest on the show, our good friend and journalist, Jamie Ballard.
Hi, Jamie.
Hi, Emily. Hi, Alex. Thank you guys so much for having me on. This is really
We're
exciting.
so excited.
I know, I'm really excited right now.
So Jamie works at YouGov, a market research company. So Jamie, you guys just did a study that says 51% of registered voters say Trump should not appoint a Supreme Court justice before the presidential inauguration, and most voters oppose the Republican plan to confirm Supreme Court pick before the election. Can you explain the study a little bit more?
Yeah, of course. So this study was done, this poll was done on Saturday, kind of very shortly after the announcement that Ruth Bader Ginsurg had died. So we got out there and we decided to poll, sort of asking people about what they thought should happen next. So as you said, 51% of registered voters said no when asked, do you think President Donald Trump should appoint a new Supreme Court justice to fill a seat left vacant by Justice Ruth Bader Ginsurg before the presidential inauguration in January 2021? So what we're seeing is that about half of Americans don't think that he should be the one to appoint a justice unless he's reelected necessarily. 42% do think he should. So that's not insignificant necessarily, right? That's 42% of registered voters think that he should be the one to appoint a new Supreme Court justice. There's kind of some predicted partisan splits with this. 84% of Democrats think that he should not be the one to do this. 86% of Republicans think that he should. But then when we look to numbers about the Senate, we asked, if President Donald Trump appoints a new Supreme Court justice before the presidential inauguration, do you think the Senate should confirm the nominee? And with that, we see kind of a more even split. 45% say that the Senate should confirm the nominee if that happens. 48% say that they should not. And it was a quick poll of 1,200 registered voters surveyed via YouGov Direct.
So what exactly does this data tell us?
This basically tells us, so this is a snapshot of kind of like right after the news broke, right? So this is like the first thing that people were thinking. It tells us that there's not necessarily consensus either way, right? Because it's only 51%. So that means that there's 42% who disagree and then 7% who just aren't sure at this point. This might be one that you would want to look at if we polled again, like in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, just kind of as we get closer to the election to see if the sentiment is shifting. But what it tells us is that largely half of Americans don't think that Trump should be the one to appoint a new Supreme Court justice.
And I was gonna say, from my non-statistical mind, it didn't seem as extreme as I would have hoped personally. Is this data significant?
Yes, it is significant just because it's more of a snapshot than anything. So it's a snapshot of how people were feeling at this point in time. Yeah. Like I said, it kind of change. But we sort of saw similar sentiments reflected in another poll that we did with Yahoo News, in which 53% of Americans believe whichever candidate wins the 2020 election should nominate the justice. So that's also, right, that's still like kind of near that halfway mark. People aren't necessarily overwhelmingly thinking like Trump should do it or the winner of the election should do it. Mm-hmm. What it tells you is that there's still a lot of questions out there.
Yeah, totally. And I'm assuming once Trump selects or says who the nominee is, it's going to change more, right? Because if people like the person he's nominating, it's going to be like, oh yeah, he should do it, opposed to people not liking that person.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Emily. I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, it definitely depends, because right now it's sort of an unknown. It could change. People who initially were thinking that Trump should be the one to nominate could be like, well, never mind. If he wants to nominate her, I don't think he should be the one to nominate, or vice versa.
Yeah, totally. Exactly. Well,
awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much for having me on. This was fun.